he's borrowed one of the no hangover drinks and he's able to go out and enjoy it. But Mara, it really has been. I think that sometimes in life, when you're within the midst of something, it's impossible to realise just how brilliant it is. But the battle between these guys, it's been so back and forth this year. The momentum, the emotional strength as well, actually, has changed and gone back and forth so much. If you love motor racing or you love sports of any kind, it's been an amazing year, hasn't it?
Indeed. Actually, with the advantage that Mercedes had right from the outset, this could have technically been a very boring season if either he or Lewis would have just run off, if there would have been disparity between the two. But you know, as you said, they're very much up at the top level. Both of them very capable of being on pole and winning any given race, and either one would be a very worthy champion for sure. And because of that, they were obviously allowed to fight it out, and now they distance themselves far enough in points from the third place, they can afford to steal points from one another and still be guaranteed first and second in the standing. So obviously, you know, Mercedes is trying to give them the best opportunity possible, and we're going to see a riveting final 3 races, if they can be any better than what we have seen because of that. And I guarantee you that both want it so badly, and we're the ones that are going to be enjoying watching these dudes really duke it out.
It's amazing.
Again, it's that important. And as you know, Lewis already won the championship, but Nico, you know, would love to add one in the family, like his father did. So again, a lot at stake.
I don't like to talk in cliches, but when you look back, and you were obviously in that critical race in 1976 with Lauda and Hunt, and the comparisons between, let's say, Lauda and Nico and Hunt and Lewis, and then likewise Senna and Lewis, Prost and Nico. Is that just an obvious cliche, or is that just a nature that you're always going to have those two personalities in the way it fights?
Well, again, yeah, the personalities are that. I mean, but it's, to me, it's the rivalries is what the sport is all about, and these are very healthy rivalries, you know, that will last, that will be part of the history of the sport. And iconic, you know, brand like Mercedes, you know, being at the top again, and I think they really deserve it, because they invested a lot in our sport over the years, and things were not always that good, but now, you know, they're enjoying the success, and these two drivers are brilliant, you know, in bringing it to them. So again, it's a good thing all around, but honestly.
We've finished, if you like, at the end, and I want to finish with the last question, just about the beginning and your first racing. You mentioned earlier about your first car, that the Hudson Hornets, that I think your brother and yourself tossed a coin over who was going to race to start with. There's an amazing video. I think it was actually a PlayStation video. Did they rebuild the Hudson Hornet and you had a chance to drive it? Just tell me a bit about that and your memories of that car.
Well, obviously, you know, the first car is always the one that is the most important, I would say. And yes, the Sony, you know, they built this. They had this car built so they could do a story about it, and it was quite representative of what we had. And my brother and 4 other buddies, you know, we just were pulling all of our resources together to build it, and we, you know, somehow there's always even among us lads, there's always the nerd, you know, the guy that's actually the thinker, and he's the one that suggested that we buy information, and that's the best investment we could have done, because we bought some information from a team that was representing the factory that was winning all the races in NASCAR at the time, and we started winning on a local level immediately. So it was a great send-off for us, and but with this Sony PlayStation, with this model car that they rebuilt, it really brought back a lot of fun memories, as you can imagine.
Murray, it's just incredible for us to have you here. I think you'd all agree with me this evening. Great to hear from Nico, but for myself, as a motor racing fan, as a Formula One fan, but also a fan of winners in general, what a joy to hear from Mario Andretti, ladies and gentlemen. you.